Hi there, I'm Chris Moflam. Welcome to African Findings Explained, a series of discussions designed to shine a light of clarity on research findings on topics relevant to ethical leadership for African development. In this episode, I'll discuss the US dollar curve and implications for Africa's economies in 2021 and beyond. Central bank foreign exchange reserves are dominated by a few currencies. These currencies are typically issued by well-managed central banks on behalf of governments which have a history of meeting their obligations. As a result, they tend to have stable exchange rates and low inflation. This makes them attractive both for international trade and as long-term savings vehicles for government pension funds, companies, and individuals. The International Monetary Fund recognizes 8 world reserve currencies: US dollar, euro, Chinese yuan, Japanese yen, British pound, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, and Swiss franc. Of these, the US dollar is the most redeemable currency in facilitating international trade and long-term savings. Today, more than 60% of all foreign bank reserves are denominated in US dollars. 2020 ended with a depreciation of the US dollar. At the start of 2021, an important question is, will the US dollar continue to fall? Historically, the US dollar goes through long cycles of strength and weakness, correlated with the difference between US and international growth. When the global outlook is deteriorating, investors tend to flock to safe haven currencies, primarily the US dollar, and secondarily, the euro, the Japanese yen, and the Swiss franc. This tends to drive up the value of the US dollar. When global economic growth expectations are rising and the rest of the world is doing better than the United States, other currencies tend to gain against the US dollar. While it depreciated in 2020, this came on the heels of 8 years of dollar strength. This was a period characterized by a small international growth alpha, a significant step down from the levels seen from 2001 to 2011 when the US dollar weakened. A synchronized global recovery started to take hold in 2017 but was quickly disrupted by the trade war between the United States and China. Going forward, the cycle seems to be turning. From 2021, the international growth alpha should widen as international growth shifts up, resulting in a weaker US dollar. This will be due to the emergence of the global economy from the COVID-19 pandemic. This expected cycle of US dollar weakness would benefit Africa's emerging economies. A weaker dollar would lead to easier financial conditions for governments, as well as companies that earn revenue in local currency but pay debt service in dollars. This dynamic would also help support the recovery in African economies. US-based investors investing internationally would also benefit through currency translations. Finally, a more predictable foreign policy from the Biden administration would be refreshing for cross-border investment and trade. The US dollar is expected to maintain its status as the world's reserve currency for the foreseeable future. If the dollar continues to weaken, it will be a sign that the global recovery is occurring, not that the world is on the precipice of a currency regime change. Thank you for listening. Please stay safe and healthy.